You should stand up to those bullies.
I can't. They're bigger than me.
You should come with us. We can make you big and strong. We can make it so you're never bullied again. But we'll need Grandma's help. And Grandma comes down at midnight.
Hello and welcome to the Say Hello Spotlights. I'm Vanessa Akiyu and I'm currently sat here with Chris and Adam. Is that the right way round?
Yes.
From the horror Grandma's Thirsty. You kind of wouldn't get that from the title initially, but I watched it. It freaked me out. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the film without giving too much away for our audience?
You go ahead, mate.
Sure. So it follows 10-year-old George, who is being bullied. And he thinks he finds a way to become big and strong so that he can overcome the bullies in Creepy Grandma and Shenanigans ensue.
Indeed.
Not to spoil anything.
I love that summation. And what were your roles in the production itself?
I was their writer and director.
Okay.
I produced the film.
Cool. And just off camera now, we were talking and you've known each other quite a while. Was this always a plan to work together, or have you worked on other projects before together?
Do you know, so Chris and I met at university. Chris was a year below me. Mm-hmm. And we sort of, we hit off one evening after we had a very strange experience where I was visiting one of Chris's friends who lived with Chris, and they had a break-in that night.
Oh, wow.
So it sounds really traumatic. But it's kind of a funnier story than that. But anyway, long story short, from that point on, we sort of spent all our time together throughout the rest of university. Like I said, I lived with Chris for a little while, and a mutual friend of ours. And the guys, Chris used to do a lot of stuff with another filmmaker, co-writing and co-directing. Mm-hmm. And I was more of a sort of supportive friend on the outside, not really getting involved too much.
And then you want to muscle in.
Well, since the move to London, I started producing my own stuff.
Okay.
And it just sort of, we didn't diverge, but like our careers at some point sort of converged, if you know what I mean. So this
full circle.
Yeah, it's the first time we've actually really worked on together.
Yeah, properly, yeah.
Yeah, given feedback and been involved,
yeah.
But isn't actually in the trenches. It's the first time.
And how did it come about, the idea?
The idea for the film?
Yeah.
So this probably won't make much sense if no one's seen the film, but I just thought it'd be really creepy if two twins had the same voice. So like either one of them could be talking, you didn't know who was speaking, and then sort of reverse engineered a reason why that would be the case with the grandma character, and it all just sort of fell
into place.
Yeah.
Threw me until the end, and I was like, oh, got it now. But also, yeah, horror redheads, was that intentional or coincidental? Or there's a lot of redheads in horrors. It's always like, yeah.
No, they were just the best
best fits,
best kids we could find to be in it.
How did you find them?
Just through traditional casting, called casting posts, and obviously there are places we could have looked for genuine twins, but I don't know if people know. Obviously they're not twins. No. Are two performers, but they look so similar.
Yeah.
And when we saw them, it was just kind of like, I know it sounds silly, but it's one of those things you just can tell straight away. You see those two faces in this map of different faces, and like, hang on a minute, these two look so similar.
They match.
And we're really lucky that they look great, but also perform great, and they were really, really good to work with.
And what is it you were looking for in casting, especially for children? It's like you're never really sure how much you're going to get. Obviously, they've got less experience than an adult actor you'd expect. So what is it you were searching for in all three of them, even the main character?
Well, obviously we knew that again, I don't know how spoilery to get, but obviously we knew that George, or Harris's character, was going to sort of anchor most of the film. Obviously, Grandma is the titular character, but doesn't come in until later on. So we knew we needed someone super strong and confident and good to carry that. And it just so happens that our DP had just made a short film and was waxing lyrical about this kid in it. Was saying, this kid Harris, he's so great, he can do everything. He's stunt trained.
You're like, I don't believe you.
He does that. And I said to Chris, should we check him out? And obviously there's a little bit of reticence at first. It was like, well, we don't want to just use someone our mates just use. It feels like we've not tried. So we did look around and we tried, and I just kept coming back. I said, Harris is really good though, isn't he? Harris is great. And
looks great.
He can do everything. And with the twins, obviously, it's slightly different, where people will understand when they see the film. But we knew that eventually the end goal would be to dub the voices and stuff. So it was the physicality that was as important, if not much more important than the sort
Which
of
is
line
maybe
delivery.
hard to,
Yeah.
I don't know, well, you tell me, harder to direct out of children than adults, where where you're kind of back editing or back creating. If you
Yeah, I
understand what
mean, I'll be honest, I think we got really lucky with the kids because they're all just super game. Like, they took direction really well.
Cool.
They're all quite mature, especially Harris. Harris is like talking to a little adult. He was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with children as well, with certain things like horror stories or sensitive topics, how do you introduce that to... I mean, I was freaked by the film. I had to stop. I couldn't watch it in one go. I had to stop and wait because I almost knew something was coming. I was like, I can't watch that tonight. I'm going to watch the end tomorrow. But with kids, how do you not freak them out but get them to play the part in something that might be a bit sensitive?
I think because we had such game and professional kids, they were already halfway there to sort of understanding the sort of what was going to be expected. But I think when our first makeup tests and our first sort of looks at how Grandma was going to turn up sort of came in, and we saw, okay, we've actually got something like quite disturbing here. I think it became quite clear quite soon that we'd have to put some effort into really getting the kids comfortable with that, because I know there's this instinct to be like, well, we don't want to see, we want to scare people for real, but we don't, we're here actors, we don't need to traumatize kids
children,
for our film. So we really made an effort to introduce the kids and their parents, which all the parents were incredible. They stayed down with us the whole time and helped sort of manage that and introduce them to Grandma out of costume and out of makeup, and do some table reads, and slowly do that transition.
Did they have, I mean, I have a 9-year-old child who's full of questions. Did they have lots of questions about it on the pro? How are you going to do this? Or can we see this?
They watched some of Matt, who plays Grandma, which might sound weird. Matt is 29.
Okay.
No, 30.
He's older than that now. Yeah.
That's like
And
30.
a guy?
And a guy.
Okay.
Bloke, yeah.
Just checking.
But yeah, and he's actually really funny. So to be honest, he was just making the kids laugh a lot when he wasn't.
Great. To put them at ease.
Yeah.
He's an incredible actor, Matt.
Yeah.
So
why that casting? Sorry.
well,
We shouldn't say an actor is an actor, but...
No, of course, but I remember having the conversation at I remember being in my old flat and we were talking about it, and towards the end of the film, there are slight bits that have changed from the original script, but we knew there was a certain amount of, we need somebody who is very believably going to be a incredibly old woman, but also be physically robust enough to do some of the more physical parts of the performance, which is quite a hard line to tread. And I remember just having this brainwave and saying to Chris, my old housemate he's got a very angular face. I think with the right makeup, he's got a bit of an old lady look to him.
Did you tell him that?
I actually left him a voice note because I didn't want to put him on the spot on the phone. I just said, how would you feel about being an old lady for a horror movie? I know you're a very handsome young man. However, I feel like we could do something interesting. And I think he really loved that as well, because it gives you that sort of like separation to really, because your face, you can get lost in that a little bit, and some of the more guttural, dribbly takes were really good, and Matt was brilliant.
And he's an actor.
Matt's a great actor. Yeah, Matt's a great actor. He's been in all sorts of stuff. It's just anybody look him up. He's very, very good.
And I think any up-and-coming actor who wouldn't want to play a 600-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
And actually, all
that on your CV.
of the makeup artists who were sculpting the Grandma face all commented on how much they loved his face, his nose, like the angles of his face and stuff. So it came out really
loved it
well.
as well. And when you say all of the makeup artists, how many were involved, and how long did it take to do the makeup for that?
So we had, our main guy was a guy called Will Harvey, who's great, and he created the actual prosthetics. But then the sort of sculpting, the design of Grandma, I think he got somebody else to help because he was quite busy, and also he said that they were fantastic. So
Yeah.
And then on set there was Will and his assistant Lucy, and the first time they put him in makeup, it was like 6 hours or something, wasn't it?
It was a long time.
Really?
Yeah, a long time.
Wow.
And we had 2 applications of the Grandma. None of the pieces were reusable, so we had him for sort of
2-shot wonder. That's it. And then
2-day wonder.
two
at the very
days.
least,
Yeah, like obviously he could be in the makeup for a few hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he got made up sort of by midday on the first day, and then first thing on the second day. So yeah, we had about a day and a half of Grandma
Wow.
to get everything.
Funny for me as well, because I always read these stories about how this person took so long in the chair to get their effects done, and there's a sort of part of me that always thinks, yeah, but they're probably exaggerating. Probably not that bad.
Not anymore.
But then when you're doing it,
Lived
like, oh
it.
god, it is actually taking this long.
Lived experience.
But yeah, it was good.
But yeah, trying to schedule somebody being in makeup for 6 hours, not wanting them to have to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, plus the fact that you can only have kids on set for like
A certain
6
amount
hours.
of time, yeah.
The scheduling for that was
And I will say,
Challenge.
I will say, Matt was super game though. Whenever we did need to get him in early, he would do it without question. We rented out a whole sort of like hostel nearby, had all the crew and
Stay
the
close
adult cast stay there, so everybody was on hand and nearby. And that's also one of the benefits of when your actors are your friends. You can they're never going to say no to me. So.
Nice one. What was most challenging about the project?
I know what I think, but you go ahead.
I think there's a few challenges. Getting the casting right, because obviously we have to have the younger and older version of the character. Finding the older version, once we picked
To match the,
that took a really long time. Finding the location was very tough because we had quite a specific look in mind.
Where was the location?
Down in Chichester.
Okay.
It was actually, again,
A friend. We saw a few places that had that sort of aesthetic we were looking for, but just by the nature of them being old and period, they were quite small. Obviously, we need a certain amount of space for the footprint of what we were trying to do. So
and old.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
They were
Well,
quite
you can see a studio isn't going to work.
They were very limited in what they would let you do.
Obviously, we talked about a set build at one point, but even though we had a decent budget, that still is a lot. So.
Yeah.
Fortunately, a friend of mine who's a director, Tom, his family owned a converted military bunker in Chichester because I believe it's his grandfather was an architect.
Okay.
And they'd renovated it way back when to this house, and it has all these weird shapes and angles.
Nooks and crannies and, yeah.
It wasn't originally designed to be a house, so it just gives an unsettling sort of feel. But for me, like I even remember having a conversation on the day. On one of our shoot days, none of the filmmaking parts of it felt, not that it wasn't hard, of course it's hard, but it felt like a real challenge because everybody was so keen and so game and was so excited. And I think a lot of us who, for a little background, a few of us do our general day-to-day careers in music video and in promo and all that sort of stuff. And it was so nice to do something that felt a little bit more, I don't know, it felt wholesome and a bit more what I wanted to do originally. So the tough stuff for me came in the post. Because with these things, you build up to this crescendo and this moment with Grandma. If the VFX and the look
Doesn't
of
work,
that is not good enough, it undersells everything up until that point, and you kind of post-rationalise how good the rest of it was.
I mean, it got me.
Good.
I was by myself.
I think so too. I'm really proud of where it's come to. But we spent, again, stuff we won't go into detail. We went 6 months going down one path of a VFX artist who then left the job and we started again somewhere else.
Wow.
It was a whole
But
thing.
worth it.
VFX were a struggle.
Yeah.
Wow, but
It was worth it. Yeah, 100%.
insane. I mean,
That was the thing.
Reimagining it now.
We really didn't push at any point to rush it out. We shot this
Wanted to make it
nearly 2 years ago
your
now.
passion. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, was it April 2024?
April 2024. Yeah.
Wow.
Over the Easter
Remember the
bank
date as
holiday.
well, don't you? Yeah, exactly. There we go. And what about the message around bullying? Because that's, I guess, what we see right at the start of the film, and it plays through to the end and plays out in a certain way. Was that was that the hook? Was that part of the reason of creating this, to kind of empower people, perhaps?
I'm not sure. I think of it like sort of a corrupted big. So like it's kind of like a wish fulfillment. Be careful what you wish for.
Okay.
Do you know? Like
What goes around?
what goes around?
Yep.
Yeah.
A little bit.
One of those. Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you see? What do you want from your audience? Well, obviously you've screened it already. What have you got from your audience? Are you excited about the reactions? What do you think they'll take away from it?
Well, the twins obviously are quite sort of uncanny and weird, and we hoped that would be sort of funny. And I think people have been finding them a bit weird and uncomfortable, and we've got some laughs. And then obviously with the grandma stuff, we want them to be a bit grossed out. And I think so far it's been doing that.
You getting that?
I mean, I've not actually witnessed an in-person reaction at all.
Oh
yet.
no! You haven't been to a screening with
Do you know
the outside world?
No, Chris went to our premiere at Fantasia over in Canada, and I was away on a job. And then the next screening we had in the UK, I was away on a job, and then another job, and then I missed one for another personal thing. So our screening.
You coming in January?
I will be, but our screening tomorrow. We've got a screening tomorrow. Will be the first one that I've actually
you've been
to. So I'm excited to see how that feels.
And we're excited to see it too.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you both for coming in today. It was
That's okay.
amazing. I'm glad you're going to both be here in January. It'd be nice to see it in an auditorium. Let's try that again. Nice to see it in an auditorium alongside the people that created it. So we're looking forward to that.
Amazing.
Thanks very
Thank you
much.
so much for having us.
Cheers.
Everybody else that would like to see Grandma is Thirsty, that's Soho Lift, January 14th to the 16th. And we hope to see you there too.